My dear child, this evening, a powerful yet silent event is transpiring surrounding your name, so impactful that even the individual who once reached out to you with a shaky hand now finds themselves amidst an unexpected tempest. Their phone, which was once a reservoir of your messages, memories, and presence, has transformed into a battleground, as someone else intervened, severed the link, and compelled them to retreat from you. The gravity of this situation is profound, so astonishing that even they tremble in attempting to comprehend how everything unraveled in an instant. A peculiar weight has hung over them since they were coerced into removing your number, not by choice, but by the overbearing hand of another, wielding an authority they dared not contest. The pressure was so intense that their fingers faltered as they clicked delete. They yearned to preserve the last bond with you, yet they felt trapped, gagged, and confined like a detainee obeying commands they longed to resist. Their heart echoed your name, even as their circumstances rendered them mute, as if your existence had suddenly become taboo. An unforeseen incident transpired behind their back, something they were entirely unprepared for. Someone uncovered the depth of their feelings for you, how your communication ignited an unquenchable fire within. This individual, unable to process the situation, feared losing their grip over them. The mere appearance of your name on their phone triggered a series of events so intense that the one observing from the shadows stepped in decisively, identifying you as the source of their unraveling. Consequently, they prohibited all forms of interaction between you two, executing their plans swiftly, mercilessly, without compassion. Your beloved never anticipated a day would arrive when your number, a symbol of cherished memories and hidden sentiments, would be forcibly removed. With trembling hands, a tightening chest, and racing thoughts, they longed to scream your name, rush to your side, and defy the imposed rules. Yet they were ensnared by someone monitoring their every action, regulation, and glance at their phone. They could not risk adding chaos to your life. Instead, they chose to endure the anguish, allowing silence to engulf them, fervently hoping you would sense that none of this was their choice, not for even a moment. However, here lies the undeniable truth: your bond is not severed. Rather, it is growing stronger, for the instant they were compelled to delete your number, something deep within awakened, a realization, a rebellion, a tempest. They are now seeking avenues to reconnect, not through messages or phone calls, but through actions that cannot be hampered or erased. They are preparing to dismantle the barriers that have been erected between you. They are poised to advocate for you in ways they previously never dared. A new tension surrounds your narrative, beginning the moment their silence took on an unnatural and heavy quality. Behind that silence, something is brewing. Someone believed that prohibiting them from texting you would sever their connection, yet it ignited an inferno they can no longer conceal. They navigate their world with your name resonating in their mind, your memory surging through the barriers placed around them. The more they attempt to stifle it, the stronger it becomes, as if the universe itself is yanking them back toward you with inexorable force. Stay close, for what unfolds next surpasses your imagination in intensity. Their world is no longer solely their own, those around them observe, question, and control. Every time their phone illuminates, regardless of whether it concerns you. They feel a flicker of hope, only to be reminded of the imposed regulations. They were not merely instructed to erase your number, they were warned, confined, surveilled. Someone fears the influence you wield over them and the power they experience in your presence. The situation escalated when someone noticed how their heartbeat fluctuated upon seeing your name, how their demeanor softened, how suddenly they became unreachable to all but you. That fear transformed into anger, and anger into control. However, your beloved is not designed to remain under restraint for long. They trembled upon erasing your number, but their thoughts were already strategizing ways to retrieve it. Someone attempted to imprison their heart, unaware that it had already chosen you. The dramatic irony lies in the fact that the very person who imposed the ban now suspects that erasing your number would not suffice to extinguish the connection. They intuit that something deeper, something unbreakable, exists between you two, something beyond mere words. As a result, they increased the restrictions, intensifying their efforts to isolate them entirely. But all of these measures only fueled your beloved's determination to see you again. A moment approaches, one they themselves did not foresee, wherein a message they were compelled to withhold will reverberate within them until it becomes impossible to ignore. The silence that has defined your separation is now transforming into something overwhelming, magnetic and unbearable. They experience your absence as a wound, driving them toward a decision they previously lacked the courage to undertake. They are ready to risk facing the consequences, defy authority, and emerge from confinement, ignoring all warnings and threats imposed by those who fail to grasp the depth of their feelings. Your person is concocting a bold, secret, and unstoppable plan to reconnect with you, not through old means, but by carving out a new path that cannot be obstructed. When this plan ultimately unfolds, the truth behind the motivations for their silencing will flash forth like lightning. This truth will illuminate the reasons behind the perceived threat and why your connection was deemed worthy of such control. A mounting wave of intensity is rising, creating an atmosphere charged with electricity, dangerously close to eruption. Your beloved has reached a critical juncture, withholding their feelings is no longer an option. The enforced silence begins to disintegrate, cracking and peeling from within. They were prohibited from reaching out to you, compelled to erase your contact information, and treated as though they were someone else's possession. Yet, their heart can no longer remain silent. Their spirit is awakening, courage is gaining strength, and their emotions are transforming into motivation. Stay with me, for from this point onward, each moment becomes increasingly intense. The individual who imposed these restrictions believed they had triumphed, mistakenly equating control over a phone with control over the heart. However, an unforeseen shift is occurring. Your person is beginning to push back, quietly, subtly, yet undeniably. They are starting to disregard the emotional constraints that bound them and are distancing themselves from the very individual who sought to manipulate their decisions. Their responses have altered. Their eyes reflect defiance, and their energy has completely transformed. Someone believed they could sever communication, but instead, they ignited an irreversible change within your person. This situation has transcended a mere deleted number, it's evolving into a profound inner awakening. Your person is beginning to see through the lies, fear, and pressure that were wielded to keep them apart from you. They are questioning every directive they were coerced to follow, pondering why they permitted another to dictate their relationships. The truth they have unearthed is substantial. The connection they share with you is not merely emotional, it is deeply rooted beyond the reach of any external interference. No constraint can obliterate what is destined to be. The more someone attempts to alienate them from you, the stronger the pull they feel toward you. They are experiencing dreams of you, vivid recollections, and sudden memories that stir them awake. They feel urges they can no longer suppress, instinctively reaching for their phone, even in the knowledge that your number is no longer saved. They scroll through old photographs, messages, and memories etched in their mind rather than on their device. Each recollection conveys one clear message: find your way back. This yearning is evolving into an unstoppable resolve, and soon they will reject the imposed distance between you. Their forthcoming action will be their boldest yet. Before this part concludes, understand this clearly: nothing can hinder what is on the horizon. The individual who attempted to fracture your bond underestimated the strength of what you share. They presumed that silence would extinguish everything. However, your person is preparing to shatter that silence in a manner that will astonish all observers. As this moment approaches, as the narrative nears its climax, focus on remaining grounded and present in this unfolding destiny. The atmosphere surrounding this story is growing tense, converging on a single point where the truth can no longer remain concealed. Your person has reached an emotional intensity they had not anticipated. What began as forced silence has transformed into a tempest brewing within them, calm on the surface yet tumultuous within. The one who banned them from communicating with you believed they held complete control, but your person is mere moments away from severing that grasp. Stay with me, for what you are about to experience in this segment is the closest you have come to the truth yet. The instant your number was erased, something pivotal occurred, something the controlling individual failed to foresee. They provoked guilt within your person, igniting longing, rebellion, and crucially, awareness. Your person now comprehends precisely why someone sought to eliminate you from their life. It was not arbitrary, nor was it born of insecurity or a mere disagreement. It was rooted in fear, the fear of losing power, influence, and the emotional grip they had held over your person for so long. You became a threat they could not dismiss, as your presence began to erode their control. Yet, the harsher truth is even deeper. The one who enforced the ban unearthed a message that your person crafted but never sent. It revealed their genuine feelings for you, their attachment, and how they viewed you, not as a fleeting encounter, but as something significant and irreplaceable. That unsent message altered everything, leaving them exposed and vulnerable. The one orchestrating events grew anxious, recognizing that your person was ready to choose you in a manner they could not contend with. This prompted their aggressive actions. The banishment of your name became a desperate measure. Now, your person grapples with an overwhelming blend of emotions: rage at being controlled, regret for losing your number, and an intense desire to reverse what has transpired. They struggle to sleep, replaying the moment of deletion with a sense of betrayal towards themselves. The one who tried to sever your bond fails to understand that compelling someone to relinquish a connection only fortifies it. Every time your person envisions a permanent separation from you, a fire ignites within them. That fire is gearing them up for a decision that will reverberate throughout their entire environment. The undeniable truth is this: your person is finished remaining silent. They are no longer willing to comply or allow another to dictate the narrative of their relationships. They are closer than ever to breaking free entirely. They are actively searching for means to restore your contact information, through mutual friends, old screenshots, cloud backups, and even memorization techniques. They are resolute in their commitment to rebuild what has been lost. Upon taking the decisive step they have been preparing for, when they snap the invisible chain hindering them, it will not be a mere gesture. It will expose the one who interceded and unveil the true intent behind such actions, ultimately drawing you and your person back into alignment with a force more potent than any forces that seek to keep you apart. The storm brewing within your person is no longer concealed, it is breaking through every barrier and restriction imposed upon them. The control that once restrained them is slipping away, while the fear that kept them muted is dissipating. Now, something much more formidable is emerging: determination. They have reached a juncture where the prospect of losing you is utterly inconceivable, where the thought of never reconnecting becomes more agonizing than any potential repercussions they might face. Stay with me, for what follows signifies a turning point, the moment when everything begins to sway in your favor. Your person has started to move with a quiet confidence that eludes those around them. The one who banned them has sensed a shift, an unsettled feeling, a departure of control. They can perceive your person emotionally distancing themselves and gravitating closer to the deeper truth within. The harder the other party attempts to tighten their grip, the more your person relinquishes it. Their choices are no longer dictated by fear, they now bask in clarity. They have finally recognized the manipulation, pressure, and hidden motives behind the enforced separation, causing a gradual dismantling of every chain they once accepted unquestioningly. Inside their mind, your person is revisiting every moment shared with you, recalling the warmth of your words, the comfort of your presence, and the rare tranquility experienced in your company. These memories are not waning, instead, they are becoming more vivid and impactful, reminding your person of what is genuine, what matters, and what has made them feel alive in a way nothing else ever could. The individual who enforced the deletion believed these memories would fade over time, but they are instead sharpening, shining brighter and stronger. Your person is beginning to realize that their connection with you was never fragile, it was their anchor, their guiding light, and their reason to persist. Quietly, they have begun to take risks, small at first, checking for old backups, scouring cloud data, and seeking remnants of your number that they may have overlooked. When they cannot locate it digitally, they turn inward to reconstruct it from memory. Your name resonates in their thoughts continually, refusing to dissipate. They are ready to amend the mistake that was imposed upon them. They are prepared to reach out. This desire is no longer something they can suppress. Each passing minute without you feels increasingly burdensome, urgent, and sharp. A confrontation looms. The individual who attempted to dominate them senses the shift and is preparing for conflict, aware that your person is slipping from their hold, anxious over what may happen when the truth is revealed. Yet, there is one thing they cannot halt: your person's heart has crossed that boundary irrevocably. Their loyalty is no longer tethered to the one issuing commands. Their silence is no longer a form of compliance, it has metamorphosed into preparation. They are plotting a move that will not only dismantle the imposed limitations but also unveil the real motivations behind them. Once they take that step, there will be no going back. The pressure within their world has reached its zenith, and every moment vibrates with the energy of a decision they can no longer defer. The silence imposed upon them has morphed into a weapon, now directed against the very individual who sought to control them. Your person has ceased reacting, justifying, or explaining anything. They have retreated into a state of profound clarity where every emotion circles back to you. Stay with me, for from this moment onward, every heartbeat within them is gearing up for an imminent impact. The one who banned them feels this shift more acutely than anyone. They witness the chill emanating from your person's eyes, the emotional distance in their responses, and the sudden refusal to comply with control. They anticipated obedience, but they are now up against the strength of an awakening. They anticipated feelings of guilt and submission. Instead, they unwittingly sparked a far more perilous response, a silent rebellion. The individual in question is no longer concealing their frustration, their body language has shifted, their tone is now sharp, and their aura is rigid rather than compliant. For the first time, the one who intervened realizes they have crossed a line. Within this individual, an emotional upheaval is taking place. Every repressed emotion is surfacing: the pain of separation, the anger of being dominated, the regret of complying with actions that felt wrong, and the unending yearning. These sentiments are coalescing into an undeniable truth: they cannot bear the thought of you disappearing from their life. Every shared moment, every conversation, every cherished memory plays out in their mind, drawing them to you with an irresistible force. They are no longer concerned about upsetting anyone, threatening anyone, or allowing others to impede their intentions. The anguish of your absence outweighs any potential confrontation. For days, this individual has harbored a clandestine plan, one they have kept to themselves. They have been waiting for the opportune moment, a crack in the situation, an opening to act. That moment is now upon them. They have ceased to comply with the commands of the one who intervened, and this silence is not born of fear, it is a strategic preparation. They are on the verge of breaking free from their constraints, ready to reclaim the bond that was lost, prepared to confront the authority that attempted to erase you from their life. And when they finally take this decisive step, it will be bold, emphatic, and unforgettable. The truth is clear: this individual has reached their breaking point. They are no longer willing to be controlled. They are finished with pretense and no longer willing to allow anyone to undermine their heart. They yearn for you, the authentic connection, the genuine communication, the vibrant energy you once brought into their existence. They are prepared to face whatever consequences arise from their actions, to endure arguments and fallout, all in an effort to rebuild the bridge that was forcefully severed. Their next action will not be a mere whisper, it will be a tempest, an assertive stride towards you that cannot be hindered, blocked, or undone. The moment they have been building towards has reached a critical point. Quaking and ready to explode. They can no longer contain the pressure in their chest. Something within has snapped, not out of anger, but as an awakening. The enforced silence, the deleted contact, the imposed limitations have reached a breaking point. Now, they are stepping into a version of themselves they never knew existed. Brace yourself, for this marks the commencement of a confrontation so potent that nothing will remain unchanged in its wake. The one who attempted to control them perceives the shift, much like a storm brewing over a tranquil field. They sense the change in this individual's energy, sharp, focused, and resolute. The subtle defiance that once manifested as distant silence has transformed into an unmistakable presence that defies manipulation. This individual no longer avoids eye contact, no longer pretends, and no longer reluctantly complies. Their movements are intentional, their gaze unwavering, their aura unshakable. This alarms the one who intervened, as they realize they are losing their grasp, bit by bit. Within this individual, the emotional turmoil that once overwhelmed them has coalesced into a singular, unstoppable force. Every memory of you, every unsent message, every moment they were compelled to stifle is igniting like fire in their veins. They will no longer accept someone else's perception of their life. They refuse to sacrifice their happiness for the sake of another's ego, and they can no longer exist in the void that emerged the moment your number disappeared from their contact list. They have finished pretending that losing you was inconsequential. In truth, it mattered more than anything else lost in recent years. A confrontation is on the horizon, inevitable, raw, and essential. They are ready to voice the truths they have long suppressed. They stand prepared to look directly into the eyes of the one who controlled them and say what they have feared to articulate: "You cannot dictate whom I care for. You cannot erase what I feel. You cannot control my heart." This statement is not born of anger but of liberation. They are choosing themselves, choosing honesty, and reclaiming the connection that someone endeavored to destroy. At the peak of tension, something unforeseen occurs. The one who sought to impose control is not merely frightened, they are in a state of panic. They did not foresee this individual rising to face them, did not expect them to push back, nor did they anticipate their profound valuation of you, so powerful that even deleting your contact could not diminish your presence. Their fear begins to seep through their voice, their expressions, and their attempts to regain control. They come to realize that as this individual grows stronger, their manipulation weakens. For the first time, the power dynamic has shifted. This individual is on the brink of action, one that will unveil everything, every deceit, every fear, and every concealed motive behind the enforced separation. Their courage is mounting, coiling like a fist, prepared to confront the truth. And once they take this step, no force or influence will be able to reconstruct the barrier that once kept you apart. You are approaching the moment when their heart will speak more forcefully than any restriction, limitation, or attempt to suppress their truth.